to this point, I have been talking about the anthropometrics results of the boys and girls participating in the study, and this is the total body water analysis derived data. Again, this BMI has been calculated according to their anthropometrics, and then the total body water, the mean total body water in kilograms, is based on the analysis. Also, fat-free mass is generated by this analysis, and also the fat mass. You could see that the total body water is increasing as boys and girls grow. It is 15.4 kilograms in younger boys and became 17.1 in older boys, and it increased from 13.5 in younger girls to be 16.7 in older girls, and accordingly that also affects the fat-free mass and fat mass. To concentrate on the adiposity of the boys and girls, the mean percent fat, which is less of an index, less clearer index than fat-free mass. The percent fat for the younger boys are 34. The older boys have 35.4% fat, with the highest and the older girls with 40.6% fat. The fat mass index is 7.2 for younger boys, with the lowest in younger girls being 6.8, and the older girls having the highest fat mass index of 8.9. You could see that also the standard deviation varies widely in the fat mass index for all age groups. Now the lean index of the girls and boys in the study is shown by the percent fat-free mass, fat mass index, and fat-free mass over fat mass. The percent fat in the older girls is probably the lowest of 59.4, and the highest is in younger boys with 65, which is something we would expect. Fat-free mass index is also again highest in older boys. And however, you could see the standard deviation, the variability of fat-free mass index is a lot less than the fat mass index in the previous slide. Now, if we would like to express the fat mass index and fat-free mass index in more graphically, in a more clearer way, we decided to use the Hattori chart, which combines different parameters of body composition, especially the fat mass and fat-free mass indices. If you have if a child has a high fat mass index, then he or she will be considered fat. A child with a low value of fat mass index, he or she is considered lean. Fat-free mass, high fat-free mass values for children would put them in the solid area, and if they have low values of fat-free mass index, then they would be considered slender. And on top of, or beside the fat-free mass and fat mass indices, we added the equal BMI values that correspond to the adult obese BMI value of 30, and another line that represent the BMI value relevant to the adult overweight. And this just to remind you where the adult BMI lies in this chart. And now we're adding the body mass index for the children with an average value for age 8 and for both sexes, and this is calculated according to the Cole definition. And now I'm trying to build the Hattori chart. Still the data is not presented yet. So now we have the BMI ranges for being obese, overweight, or within around the median values of the WHO population. In addition, we could add the percent fat, equal lines of percent fat between 10% to 60%. Now the Hattori chart major components are complete. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that percent fat, the slope of the percent fat lines increases as fat mass index increases. So the inclination goes up of the percent fat as fat mass index increases. And now the first group of the children are the boys, are now superimposed in the Hattori chart. So now this is the Hattori chart for the Kuwaiti boys participated in the study. You could see that the color-coded symbols of filled squares, green representing those who have BMI around the median of the WHO population. The yellow squares represent the overweight boys, and the red ones represent the obese one. There are a lot that can be withdrawn from this chart, but the most important thing is that at around fat mass index of 10 kilograms per square meter, most of the obese children lie in this region above 10 kilograms of per square meter. And the overweight boys, most of them are located above probably 7 kilograms per meter squared. And these can be used, these values of cutoff, these cutoff values of fat mass index can be used to describe overweight and obese children. Now these, now the Hattori chart now includes both boys and girls. The girls are represented by the filled squares, the filled circles, and boys are represented by the filled squares. Again, the boys and girls who are obese lie above 10 kilograms per square meter of fat mass index. Boys and girls who are overweight are almost above a fat mass index of 7. And those who are within the 50th percentile are about maybe 5 of fat mass index of a value of 5 kilograms per square meter. Now, in conclusion, using a BMI-based definition, overweight prevalence for all children was 15.3%, and obesity was 36.2%, combined prevalence of 51.4%. And this age, in this group of 177 Kuwaiti school children aged between 5 and 10 years. The fat mass index is an independent index of adiposity, and we are examining the use of fat mass cutoff values to determine the adiposity. In the future studies, we would like to address the issue of the obesity, of the high obesity prevalence, to determine is that due to high energy intake, low physical activity, or combination of both. I would like to thank the schools and children and their parents, Lena Davidson from IAEA, the Technical Cooperation Program of IAEA, and the hard work that's been done by the Food and Nutrition Administration team, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, and Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tareq, for this information and well done research and I open the floor for discussion for 10 minutes.